I'm going to tell you something I'm not supposed to say in a YouTube video. This is not the best way to watch this video. And here's what I mean. The video you're about to watch is from a live session that we had at Tethered online. There, the people who watched it got live interactive notes. They got to follow along with their Bible. They even had a live chat with other people watching and some of my trained hosts ready to interact with them, pray with them, and give them a lot more resources. Now, we of course welcome you to watch this full video and all of our past videos here on our YouTube channel, but you really will get the best if you visit tethered.online and join us for a live Tethered online session. But for now, we hope you enjoy this video. The Bible is one of the most influential books in human history. It's the best-selling book of all time, selling around 25 million copies each year in the US alone. It's also one of the most shoplifted items of all time. I mean, everybody wants to get their hands on this book because it answers some of the biggest questions: why we exist, it inspires people to do amazing things, and it confuses other people. You likely have one sitting around somewhere. So, what is the Bible? What is it really? Well, that's what this series is all about. Welcome to Tethered Online. And this is going to be a little bit different than previous Tethered series, but I think it's going to be incredibly important and beneficial to have a better grasp of what is in this book and how we should approach it. In essence, the Bible is a small library of books that emerged out of ancient Israel. Now, we're going to dive more into that library imagery here in a moment, but first, let's talk about ancient Israel. You see, in one sense, Israel was not very different from its surrounding ancient neighbors like Egyptians and Babylons, but in another sense, they were called out by God to be a special group through which God would bless all people in all nations. And the Bible is God's story to save humanity, and it's a literary masterpiece in telling that story. I mean, these authors, they use the Hebrew language to write epic narratives, captivating poetry, deep-rooted metaphors that are often missed by modern, untrained eyes. Reading your Bible, it's like walking into a library. You need to know what section you're in, the context the author is writing, and your own purpose for being there before you can fully appreciate the experience. So we actually began a new YouTube exclusive series titled Tethered Tidbits, where we explored that very thing. Let's take a look at that video before we go any further. Welcome to Tethered Tidbits, where we help you fall in love with your Bible, your faith, and with Jesus one tidbit at a time. Your Bible likely looks something like mine. Thousands of pages, small print, bound together in a thick read that, frankly, is daunting for many of us to approach. The problem is that the Bible is not a book, but rather a diverse library written in 3 different languages over a 1,500-year period of time from a bunch of different people. So every time I open my Bible, I try to visualize myself entering a library. I imagine walking in, pulling off an ancient scroll or an ancient tablet off the shelf. Maybe I'm in a certain section that's dated and categorized by a certain genre: history, poetry, prophecy, law. And you can do this too. Just imagine walking into a modern day library. You go to the poetry section maybe, and poetry, it's known for using words with rhythm and rhyme to communicate in a way that stirs the imagination and emotions. Often poetry uses colorful, exaggerated language to describe ideas, to tell stories. So when you go to the poetry section of the library and you pull a book off the shelf, you're going to read it differently than a book you might read in like the history section. And this is a completely new way of us approaching the Bible. So this library right here, it contains 66 single volumes, and it has 2 distinct parts. And which of these 2 parts you're reading in makes a huge difference how you interpret a certain book or a certain verse. So the first section, often referred to as the Old Testament, it contains 39 books. The New Testament, later on, contains 27 books. Now, that word testament simply means a covenant. Now, I know that probably doesn't help you much either. So a covenant is simply an agreement between 2 or more people. Think of it this way. A covenant is between a husband and his wife. So this is a covenant, an agreement between God and his people. This is a partnership. And part of that partnership is the writing of this book. And so even though it was written by many different authors, the Holy Bible, unlike any other book, has something unique. Behind all of those human authors is a single author. And the library of books in the Bible, it was written by human authors who each had God's Spirit inspiring them and guiding them on how God wanted to communicate with us. God wants us to know him, to know our origins, to know our future, and to have guidance in our life. So just remember, whenever you open your Bible to a certain page, you are walking into an ancient historical library of 66 books written over a 1,500-year time period. And the author was writing to a specific time period, addressing a specific culture, using a specific genre. And knowing about how that book was written, it's going to impact how you read it. It's going to help us make sense of the different parts that we encounter in this book. So the Bible, it's a library, not a book. You can find more tidbits just like this one right here on our YouTube page. And if you want even more resources, go check out our website at tethered.online. Tethered is a hybrid approach to following Jesus. So what is the Bible? How should we treat it? This leather-bound library, it contains an astonishing variety of literary styles. It provides stories about the lives of good and bad people, about battles and journeys, about the life of Jesus and the early church activity. And it comes to us in narratives, dialogues, proverbs, parables, songs, allegories, history, prophecy. And the accounts in the Bible were not generally written down as they occurred. Rather, they're told over and over again, handed down throughout the years before eventually being written down. Yet the same themes may be found throughout the entire book. Along with diversity, there's also remarkable unity throughout. So what is the Bible? Well, in addition to everything that I just said, the Bible is a guide for living life to the full. It gives us a roadmap for the perilous journey of life. Or to put it another way, on our voyage through life's ocean, the Bible is an anchor. It's a storehouse of wonderful stories that children and grown-ups can enjoy. Remember Noah and the ark, or Joseph's coat of many colors, or Daniel in the lion's den, or Jonah and the big fish, or the parables of Jesus. These stories, they emphasize the triumphs and the failures of ordinary people. The Bible is a refuge for people who are in trouble. People in pain, in suffering, in prison, in mourning, they tell how turning to the Bible brought strength in their desperate hour. The Bible is a treasury of insight as to who we are. We're not meaningless robots, but we are magnificent creatures of a God who loves us and gives us a purpose and a destiny. The Bible is a source book for everyday living. We find standards for our conduct, guidelines for knowing right and wrong, principles to help us in a confused society where so often anything goes. So a question for us here. What aspect of the Bible do you love most? Another question. What about the Bible challenges you? So it's one thing to know what the Bible is. It's something entirely different to know how to read the thing. You see, to better understand the Bible, we must first see the larger story at play and the literary tactics used throughout by the biblical authors. Here's a hint. Never read a Bible verse. We're going to talk about that in more details next week. But right now, you should be looking to download the Tethered Action Pack so you can put everything that we're talking about into action in your life. So this is what makes us hybrid. We meet and connect online, and then we equip you for your day-to-day. So if you haven't checked out the Tethered Action Pack, you're missing out on a core resource that we provide. So here's what is in store for you in this series. We have a crossword message notes, so you can have fun and take notes with you. We have downloadable bookmarks that have 4 questions that you can ask in any Bible study. And then we have a way for you to submit and request for us to send the Bible to anybody in the world that you think needs one. All of that is available for absolutely free. Just click the links all around that say Action Pack and we'll get you there. And if you visit Tethered online, you can see the action packs from previous series. That includes things like custom recipe cards, music playlists, phone wallpaper, so much more. Just visit Tethered online for that and everything else you might need. Tethered is a hybrid approach to following Jesus. We'll see you all next week. I hope you enjoyed that video. Remember, you can find live versions of videos just like that one by visiting tethered.online. But if you want to stay here on YouTube, we're good with that too. Be sure to continue watching some of our other videos that we have going on. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, share it, all the things that kids are saying. And remember, Tethered is a hybrid approach to following Jesus. We'll see you guys later.